Said I'm so sick of drug songs, so tired of weed, so done with mixing liquor with beer. Said I'm so sick of drug songs, so tired of smoke.
Good evening. It's the 20th of February 2012. It's our last show for the month of February. Can you imagine that? We have gone through 1 month and have gone through the second month. I'm your host, Dr. Peter K.B. St. Jean. You're looking at the Peaceful World Movement Network, brought to you by the Peaceful World Movement. And we are here with native Chicago guest. Some of you may have seen him already. I heard he has a long lineup of fans listening to the show. My man Kpilla, thank you so much for coming out here and
thanks for the invite.
Joining us. You know, a few weeks ago, I was over on the west side. There was a Stop the Violence rally, Stop the Violence event. So some young persons had a very great demonstration of art and poetry, and you know, and there I was filming because one of my friends was supposed to. In fact, it was by third party. A friend of mine, his friend was supposed to film, but he was out of town. You know, us filmmakers, we kind of look out for each other, and photographers look out for each other. So I just showed up and was doing the gig for him, and there you were performing. And you know, very very often, like I told you before, I'm not always often that quick to say this is good stuff. I hear good stuff, but sometimes people's attitudes and their behaviors, you know, have something to do with it. But I liked your demeanor. I liked what you were talking about, so I decided that I wanted to know more about you and what you're doing. And I really thank you for coming out to St. Leonard's house. You know, where I am every Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 11:30, and you know, it's to see a young black man punctual and professional and so on. It's really a good thing. So I really want to thank you for relatively last minute because my other guest wasn't able to make it today. They were able to come out and be a part of us. We're looking at it's 312-738-1060. In a few moments, we'll begin taking your phone calls. We're going to talk to Capilla here for about 5-10 minutes, and then hopefully you'll be able to call us. So tell the audience a bit about yourself. You know who you are. And by the way, we are here live in Chicago. But we also put this later on YouTube, so people around the world will have an opportunity, our fans around the world will have an opportunity to see us. So give us a sense of who you are.
My name is Kpilla. I'm from Chicago, the west side, born and raised. Music, I've always loved music, but I never wanted to grow up to be like this famous entertainer. It was just the people around me, you know, we was just playing freestyle with words, and they were like, dude, you need to go somewhere and let's go to the studio and try to see, like, you know, construct a song and let's see what'll come out of that, you know. And I was like, okay, we'll see how this works. You know, and the first song that I wrote and I recorded, it was just like, the feeling that I got was like none other, you know. It was like a bliss that's uncontrollable. And I'm like, you know what? I think this is what I want to do. Because at one point, I thought that I might be going to the NBA. I thought I thought I was skillful enough to get there, you know. And I made some left turns that weren't good, and I just became like more interested in music and poetry and words. So it started with me just writing like poems, you know. And when my freshman year, so I was 14 years old. We had an assignment that you had to write a poetry assignment, and he didn't even tell us that the best poems would be published into an anthology of young poets book. And after he graded our poems, he selected a few students, and I was one of the students that he selected. So at 14 years old, my mind is everywhere. The last thing I'm thinking about is being a poet or artist in the future, and didn't even realize at that time that I had something special. And from that on, I just elaborated, and you know, I just used to play with beats. And I'm like, hold on, let me rap these words, slow these words down, and combine them. Let this beat coincide with these words. And it's just like, man, this is what I'm put here to be. So from that point on, I just started writing because I was, you know, practicing make perfect on every level. So I just started writing and went to the studio and recorded some songs, and it was just like, dude. And even then, when I listened to the old music, like, I wasn't even developed then, but the feeling that I got, the innate feeling was just like empowering. and the way people, I performed in front of strangers. Like in Chicago, we know from streets to wherever you're going, it's just a tough crowd. So to perform in front of people that don't know you, don't care about you, and for them to applaud or even be attentive and pay attention, it's monumental to me, because I know how Chicago is. So I used to purposely go places, the Cotton Club. I go there by myself, Cotton Club. A lot of people probably don't even remember the Cotton Club, but it was on Michigan, like 03, 04. I used to go there, and with nobody knows me. And the response I got, like I'll see them perform, other people performing, the guys will be trying to talk to girls, not even paying attention to the person that's on the stage. And when I got up there, it was like all the adults that were drinking, now they're attentive and they're paying attention. So I'm like, I have something special. That let me know that I have something special. And from that point on, it's just like I have a clef note in my, it's like a syringe. I call it a clef note syringe, because clef notes represent, a clef note represents music.
Right.
So I just feel like I have a clef note stuck in my arm forever, and I'm addicted to this music.
You have this tattoo. You have this.
I'm addicted. So
yeah.
I mainly, I'm also, I like to be called an artist. I hate to be called a rapper because if I'm a rapper, that just means I know how to rap.
Right.
If I'm called an artist, it's more than I can rap. I'm a songwriter. I write for others. I don't know how to use the machines, the beat machine, but I can sit down with a producer and give them a tune.
Right.
So the words just they flow, and it has to be a gift from God because I never thought I would be where I'm at today.
And the viewers may be wondering, well, what does Capilla and an artist have to do with the peaceful world movement? Well, music, art, entertainment, oftentimes the transportation routes for information. Some of the kids, you listen, you see them sitting in the corner, and they're spitting lyrics, and I've known some of them to have not so good grades,
right?
But they could stand there for half an hour, 1 hour, maybe even 3 or 4 hours,
right?
Back to back, verbatim, lyric one song after the other, and probably don't even get it wrong,
right?
And then you know that there is something, and some of the lyrics that I hear, some of them are okay. But some of them that I hear, I said, no, that shouldn't be coming out of a 13-year-old's and 12-year-old's mouth.
Right.
So I know that if we have to talk about changing the mentality, the mindset, to move from a paradigm of a violent consuming world and a violence producing world to a peace consuming and a peace producing world, it is very important that we engage the music, that we engage the arts, we engage the entertainment, so we can allow for these things to happen. We want to remind you that you're looking at the Peaceful World Movement Network, Peaceful World Movement in Focus. I'm your host, Dr. Peter K.B. St. Jean. We're here at Kpilla, a local from Chicago. Are you from the West Side? I know that's where we met.
From the West Side, if you want to narrow it down, it's like L-Town. So it's the streets that run north and south that starts with an L.
Okay, so are you going to run for council member one day over there?
I don't know about the political side. It's just too much. And then when you try to add, no, I don't think I go in that direction. So. I think I'd rather empower people through words and music. Because music is a universal language.
Yes.
I'd rather tap into that more. I can tap into everybody at one time.
And we want to remind you that this is a live call-in show. You can call us at 312-738-1060. Again, your host, Dr. Peter K.B. St. Jean, sitting with the Capilla, talking about music. Music creating a peaceful world, helping to create a peaceful world. So I heard your CD, 21 songs, 21 songs. Oh gosh, that's a lot of songs.
Yeah, it is.
But I heard, I listened to some of them. I haven't listened to all of them in their entirety, and I know there are a variety of different music. But what seems to inspire what it is that you write about?
Life itself. I'm not one of those artists that just I hear a beat and I just want to talk about a lot of fluff. Things that are not real. If you listen to my music, the reason that people feel it is because it comes from the heart. So whether it's bad or good, I'm gonna keep it real with you, heart to heart. So I have to put that on my music because even when I die, my music is still gonna live. So I don't want to be like gone and then misleading people with my music. I'm not saying that everything that I'm saying in my music is correct for your life, but there will be something in there that can guide you or be a tool that you can use. And that's because I'm coming from the heart and I'm keeping it real with you. And a lot of artists don't do that. They'll go in that booth and they'll lie to you and stuff they know they wouldn't do. But if they feel that that's what's going to sell, that's to them. You know, they have to answer to God later. You know, when you misleading.
So, what's your basic philosophy about life?
My basic
or your purpose. You know, your mission.
My mission that's interesting because I think my evolution is going to change. I think my mission, right at this moment, I want people to stop being excited about violence. You know, it's just like I see, especially in our community, it's like, man, if you're not tough, you're a lame. If you're not around here hustling, you're a lame. You know, or if you're not like the guy that's on the corner, you're a lame, and it's so not true. So I want a lot of people to realize, though, just because you have a gun in your hand, that does not make you the man. There's a lot of people die with the gun in their hand. You know.
I just got back from St. Kitts. I was down there, St. Kitts and Nevis, a federation in the Caribbean, a beautiful, beautiful island. I didn't get to make it to Nevis, but I was in St. Kitts, and on the Thursday before I left, one of the judges, a Supreme Court judge, was robbed at machete point, not with a gun, but with a cutlass, machete. And I spent a lot of time in the hood, as we say, as the guys call it. They call it the
So they even call it the hood in the Caribbean, huh?
They say the ghetto. I mean, I don't like the word because although the meaning of what ghetto was not what it turned out to be. But the guys were out there, and I was in the impoverished, forgotten communities. Whatever you call a ghetto here is the same kind of scene for the most part.
Worldwide.
One of the alleys, I was told that 6 guys were shot in one of the alleys, on the way there, and it's probably an alley of less than 100, certainly less than 200 feet long, and on I don't know if I'd shown you, maybe not, but if you went on YouTube and you put my name and just put St. Kitts or something like that, one of the rappers, one of the local guys that from New Mentality Group, Chad Williams, was singing, he was rapping, and I spent some time in McKnight, one of the communities, with the guys. A lot of the guys try to perpetrate what they believe American gangsters are about. They listen to your music. I'll say to your music because what I hear is in radio, but it's the same genre, right? They listen to local music, and they pick maybe the worst of it,
right?
And they perpetrate a fraud, as they say in Buffalo. But a lot of them, they hear about the Gangster Disciple, the Blackstone Rangers. They hear about different types of names, and they feel that that they're a little of it. They are something somehow or the other. You're black, they're black. That's what the ghetto in the U.S. is. So that's what the ghetto in their place is. I mean, it's just the culture infiltrates each other. So I think that for me, part of what I want to build is a connection between the guys down there that follow some of the guys, like some of the guys I've even had on my show here, that talk about being a gangster, spending 35 years in jail for double murder or for robbery or whatever,
right,
and what the real deal is. And I think that they'll be able to listen to those brothers. They'll be able to listen to me, depending on what I have to say. They'll be able to listen to you, to music. But can you give me a piece, if you were to have an audience of, guys in the Caribbean, guys in Chicago, guys in wherever, south suburbs, wherever they are,
right,
that believe that they have, the gangster life has something to give. That's the way they want to go. Have you written anything that I can put you on the spot that maybe you could spit right here that's going to maybe let them think differently, or that relates to?
Yeah, I definitely, improvise should have been my middle name. I definitely will, and can I begin now?
Yeah, go for it.
Something I would like to share with you guys is basically, it's called Vicious. I say, struggle is only a part of life. Better guard your life. Whether you're dark or light, we all alike. So try to remain legal, because them boys gonna remain evil. Stay in school, y'all. The corporate game needs you. You can keep your hands open. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. They rather see your ribs touching your stomach. And I'm just keeping it real. People will squeal when they find out it's drugs that you deal. And I hate to see youngers becoming victims of the game. I know they mama's sick of the pain, sick of saying this is a shame. Homie, slow down, grab a pillow, let your head rest. All that game banging gonna get lead in your chest. I know you're living it up and it's your life. I ain't trying to preach to you, just give you advice. In this game, young people better play for keeps. Go ahead and do your thing and get up out these streets. There's so many guys that tried, but they didn't get it. Some was alive, the other half is in prison. A lot of them died for the pride of ignorant living. Hazardous tribes' demise is vicious. There's so many guys that tried, but they didn't get it. Some was alive, the other half is in prison. A lot of them died for the pride of ignorant living. Hazardous tribes' demise is vicious. I ran for my peers. I've been grinding for years. I lost touch with my family trying to handle this career. They say it's hard to duck the slammer when the camera's in the air. Then change your surroundings and challenge what you fear. Step outside the hood, there's more money to be made. Shorties, be careful where you play, you may run into your grave. We brought up around violence, so ain't none of us afraid. We just tired of these sirens and ducking from the strays. My cash low, but this is nothing but a phase. I'm glad my bro ain't going crazy, cause he's stuck up in the cage. You can change your whole life by messing up in the day. I got universal flow, stay in touch with what I say and pray for me until the day I leave. Many got faith in me, so I pace my feet, escape defeat gracefully, and I'm patient, see? And anticipate hate after my CD date release. There's so many guys that tried, but they didn't get it. Some was alive, the other half is in prison. A lot of them died for the pride of ignorant living. Hazardous tribes' demise is vicious. You know what, it's sad to say, somebody just died in a tragic way. No money to give, so his life is what he had to pay. Never got led to Christ. You say why? Because his past a fake. He passed away, but he might not get a chance to pass the gates. Our priorities are mixed up. Yeah, we minorities, but we can become victorious in this picture. Shorties getting killed for unimportant little stuff. We need the alderman and all the men to get up. Let's take the extra inch before the gunshot on your block kill the next president. Don't this make extra sense? From the south to the west is a reckless residence. It's affecting our present tense. Hope my message in bed within. Tired of negative negligence. At this rate, we'll never win. You can't replace what's never been. What it's gonna take? You getting shot in the face for you to make a sudden change? There's so many guys that tried, but they didn't get it. Some was alive, the other half is in prison. A lot of them died for the pride of ignorant living. Hazardous tribes' demise is vicious.
Caller, you're on the air.
Yes.
Yes, sister. Thanks for
God
calling.
bless you. God bless you. My name is Rosalind Morgan.
Hi, Rosalind. Thanks for calling.
A most magnificent thing that I'm just hearing. I heard what you were saying, and it was a spontaneous, blessed words.
Thank you, sister.
My husband, Officer Howard Morgan, was shot 28 times by 4 white Chicago police officers. And this was in '05. He's still alive, and he is a Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad police officer himself. So I love what you were saying about the building connections with youthful, inspirational words of wisdom, because this violence, this wall, it must come down. And young people don't realize that once you are with a perpetrator, you are automatically deemed as guilty, number one, by the color of your skin in certain areas. And then if you're with an individual that has a weapon on them, you are just as guilty the way they see it as the person that committed the crime. And there's no saying, it doesn't matter that you're saying you're sorry. Your life is become a calamity of destruction at this point. And the violence, it has to stop. I am in a quest now because my husband was shot 28 times, 21 times in the back parts of his body and 7 times in the front. And they, the 4 white police officers, now my husband's a black railroad police officer, they charged him with 4 counts of first-degree attempted murder, 3 counts of aggravated battery, and 1 count of aggravated discharge of his weapon. This was in February of '05. There was a trial for him in May of '07. The 12 jurors found my husband, Officer Howard Morgan, not guilty of aggravated battery, not guilty of aggravated battery, and not guilty of aggravated discharge of his firearm. Well, that wasn't enough, young man. The assistant DAs and the judge did not want to acquit him of the 5 remaining charges. They took him back to court January the 17th of 2012 with an all-white juror 10 white jurors and 2 black jurors, not of his peers. And the 5 jurors, the defense counsel was not even allowed to bring in all of the evidence regarding the first trial. The defense in the second trial was told, do not tell the second jurors about the first trial. In fact, it's not even going to be labeled as a first trial.
Now, where did that happen? Caller, where did that
yes.
take place? Where did that take place? What city, state?
Chicago.
Okay,
Chicago,
yeah, I'm sorry.
Illinois.
I know with the interest of time, we won't be able to go through the entire length of the
I was getting ready
case.
to end, and this is just an injustice, and I would love to get your name so that you could please. I'm trying to get just to hear you do something about a man that was shot 28 times for this injustice.
In fact, I'm writing a book on a man who was shot 11 times. I thought that was a lot of times. You can get her back online. Can you get back to the switchboard? I would like to talk to you later on. He's going to give you my cell number, and you can call me after the show. Is that okay?
That is perfect. This is going all over the world, and God bless you, and please keep up your excellent work.
As a matter of fact, if you have a pen, I'll give it to you right now. It's 716-603-0992. It's a business call. Anybody want to reach 7? She's gone. Is she on there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, 716-603-0992. And
yes.
And you can get back offline, and you can give Mr. Bell a telephone number where I can reach you, okay? So we can talk later on.
That will be most peace and blessings unto you.
Yes, I would like to talk to your husband, too. I'll talk to your husband later, okay?
Oh, you can't talk to my husband later because they took him in. That's another story.
Wow.
Thank you.
Oh, well, I'll talk to you for him,
Thank
okay?
you.
Thank you, sister. I appreciate the call.
God bless you both.
What are your thoughts about that?
Well, it's actually something I hate to say it, but it's a normality in this region, and not even this region, in Chicago, and it's a lot of injustice going on, and the only time it really get addressed is if it's somebody of importance. So if it's an officer, a Chicago officer it happens to that's, I don't know, have a lot of ranks or arrests, I don't know, he gets the recognition, or maybe a bus driver that had a good background, or maybe a teacher. But the innocent kids that's just in the neighborhood, a lot of things don't get reported. Did you hear about something that happened recently in the morgue, or something that happened with all of these bodies were piled up wherever they take the bodies at? It's just
in Chicago?
Yeah, in Chicago.
Where
the bodies go, and it's just bodies piled up. So it's just a lot of things that's getting swept under the rug, and people not addressing. And a lot of men are not stepping up to the plate as a man. When I say we need all the men and all the men to get up, there's too many people just turning their cheek, and you turn your cheek so many times, somebody gonna be at your cheek.
And I feel bad for kind of rushing her on, but in the interest of time, we only have 3 minutes to go here.
Yeah.
I hope she understands, and hopefully we can talk about it some more. But I really like like the lyrics. What inspired that song?
Just I have family members that have given their life over 100 years to IDOC, the Illinois Department of Corrections. Over 100 years, and I'm not even talking about over 7 people. Over 100 years of their time, and it's like they're walking out of jail and running back. And I want to say words. Words can only go so far. And if you don't put anything in their place for them to to do, then they'll just run back to that same type of lifestyle.
Wow. We have a second caller. We have just about a minute and a half to go. Caller, thanks so much for calling in. Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there? No?
Huh?
Yes, caller. Thanks for calling in.
What are we going to do to stop the killing?
What do you suggest we do? Caller, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, turn on your TV and tell us what you think should be done to stop the killing.
Tell people stop killing.
Yes. How old are you?
I'm 8.
You're 8 years old? I think part of what we have to do is to educate people like you, young persons like you, to have a mind of peace. And whenever there are conflicts and problems in your life, to use peaceful ways to deal with your conflicts, to use your words and not your fist or weapon, to teach young people like you, and to make sure we teach adults to show good example to create a better world for people like yourself. I think that is where we where we begin. Education changes your mentality or your mind and the way you think, and the way you think changes the way that you act. And the better that you act is the more you make a better world, okay? I want to thank you so much for calling, okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Good question. Yes. Okay, caller, we can't take this last caller. We have to go on. Capilla, any last words here?
All I want you guys to do, be who you really are, and that's really enough. You be who you are, and I'm sure it'll be a beautiful world because all of us have something special. Until you who you are, we're going to have problems. And remember, every fight is not physical. Some are mental.
This is the end of it. Dr. Peter K.B. St. Jean, the 28th of February, 2012. Peaceful World Movement in Focus. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Chicago, Chicago, I would never give up on you, cause I know, all I have to do is be true and not fall. If you can make it here, then you can make it anywhere. Man, I'm from the west side, but I love the whole city. South side, east side, the North Pole is still a windy. What you talking about, Willis? It's the Sears Tower, and this ill state is great, but they doubt us. We all feeling pain, bruh. In the midst of danger, go to the shed aquarium, even the fish looking gangster. Different games on every block, it won't change or never stop. Here's a taste of Chicago before you see Millennium Park. Oprah Winfrey leaving, but she done left her mark here. Oprah, if you ever need me, hit me, I'm a march there. My name Kpilla, I disregard those that hate me. Now stay on track like I'm laying on Lake Street. Jewtown look like a new town, and them mistakes be for those who got that $1 million cake cheese. So basically, gentrification finna make us leave. They done bought us out, but this the only place for me. Chicago.